Lucas. Go on.
The Impossible is a 2012 Spanish biographical drama film directed by J.A. Bayona and was based on the real-life experience of Maria Belón and her family during the catastrophic Indian Ocean tsunami of December 26, 2004. During the Christmas holiday of 2004, Dr. Maria Bennett, played by Naomi Watts, and her husband Henry, played by Ewan McGregor, head to Khao Lak, Thailand, 40 miles north of Phuket, for a family vacation. They have 3 sons, oldest son Lucas, played by Tom Holland, and 7 and 5-year-old Thomas and Simon, played by Samuel Joslin and Oakley Pendergast. Arriving on Christmas Eve, the family settles into the brand new Orchid Beach Resort.
Get your stuff, don't forget all your bags.
Thomas, your bag.
Have you been to Khao Lak before?
No, it's our first time.
This is the best holiday season ever.
Yeah.
All resorts are full, but this area is really quiet. Great for families. The Orchid Beach Resort is brand new. We just opened a week ago. You'll love it here.
All right.
I'm sorry, but we made a booking on the 3rd floor, the sea view room.
I know, we are sorry. That was a mistake. But we feel you might like this better. Where do you come from?
Japan.
You don't look Japanese.
Oh, well, I work for a big company there, and we move around a lot, you know?
And you? You don't work?
I'm a doctor. Not practicing right now, just taking care of the kids.
I see. You got promoted.
They enjoy the beautiful weather, the scenery, the hospitality, and of course, the pool and the ocean. The day after Christmas, December 26, 2004, the family is relaxing by the pool when a massive tsunami wave over 30-40 feet high crashes into the coastline, killing thousands of people, destroying everything in its path, and separating the family. Maria and Lucas eventually find each other in the swirling water, and after being swept a couple of miles inland, they are severely injured by the second, even larger wave. When they find each other again and the water recedes, Maria realizes that she has serious injuries to her leg and chest. They find a toddler named Daniel, played by Johan Sundberg, who they bring with them as they climb up into a tree for refuge, fearful of more waves. Eventually they are found by locals who dress their wounds and transfer them to a hospital in the city of Takuapa. There they see images on the television of the destruction in Thailand and across the entire Indian Ocean basin. Maria encourages Lucas to help others find their family members.
Francesca! Francesca!
I need to go to the toilet.
Francesca!
Domo! Domo!
Lucas, look at this place. It's so busy in here. You got to go and do something. Go and help people. You're good at it.
What do you want me to do?
Something. Anything.
Meanwhile, Henry and the two younger boys have survived the waves, and they are together. Henry leaves the boys with another family, taking them to the mountains for safety by local relief crews, while he stays behind to search for Maria and Lucas. As Maria undergoes surgery and requires more efficient medical attention, Lucas sees Daniel reunited with his father, giving him hope that perhaps their family will be reunited as well. Maria Belon, her husband Enrique Alvarez, and their 3 young children were swept away by a massive wall of water as they lounged around the pool at the Orchid Resort Hotel in Thailand on December 26, 2004. After the tsunami, Maria Belon made a career out of traveling around the world as an advocate for survivors of the wave and giving motivational speeches about how she overcame the turmoil and 2 years of recovery following her surgeries. According to Naomi Watts, the producers of the film heard an interview on Spanish radio where the family told their story of surviving the tsunami, and they decided to make a film based on it. The real family that the main characters are based on are in fact Spanish, but were living in Japan at the time of the tsunami. The director decided not to specify the nationalities of the main character in order to create a universal film in which the nationalities were irrelevant to the plot. The crew filmed partially on location at the actual resort, which by then had been rebuilt, where the family was on holiday when the tsunami hit. For the destruction scenes, a scaled model of the resort was used. The scene where the tsunami hits the resort could only be filmed once. It would have cost too much money to rebuild the set. It took a year to put together the 10-minute sequence, a recreation of the moment when the wave came crashing down on the luxury hotel in Khao Lak. The tsunami was recreated with a mixture of digital effects and real water surges filmed in slow motion created in a water tank in Spain using miniatures that were then destroyed by a huge wave. Bayana committed to working with real water rather than a computer-generated wave because he wanted the story to be authentic. This meant that Naomi Watts and Tom Holland would spend 5 weeks filming physically and psychologically demanding scenes in a massive water tank. To make the tsunami's water accurate, the crew had to dye more than 1 million liters of water to make it look dirty. This was Tom Holland's feature film debut, and production on the film began in 2010. The Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami, known by the scientific community as the Sumatran Andaman earthquake, was a massive catastrophe. I was 16 years old at the time, and I had had a fascination with earthquakes and tsunamis ever since I was a young kid. The earthquake hit the day after Christmas 2004, and it tore the longest rupture along a fault ever recorded. Over 700 miles of fault ripped open in a massive 9.2 megathrust earthquake. The ruptured fault was underneath the Indian Ocean, and the seafloor mostly thrust upward. That created tsunami waves up to 100 feet high. The closest point to the earthquake, Banda Aceh in Sumatra, was struck with waves only 15 minutes after the earthquake hit. Scientists investigated the damage in Aceh and found evidence that the wave reached a height of 80 feet as it came ashore along long stretches of the coastline, rising to 100 feet in some areas traveling inland. Due to the distances that were involved, the tsunami took anywhere from 15 minutes to 7 hours to reach coastlines. Thailand was struck 2 hours after the earthquake. What's strange is, despite the delay of up to several hours between the earthquake and the impact of the tsunami, nearly all of the victims were taken by surprise. You gotta remember, this was December 2004, So MySpace was just about to start. There wasn't really Facebook. Social media hadn't really come around. There were also no tsunami warning systems in the Indian Ocean to detect tsunamis or warn the general population. Tsunamis are also much more frequent in the Pacific Ocean than in the Indian Ocean. On Mai Khao Beach in northern Phuket City, Thailand, there was a 10-year-old British girl named Tilly Smith who had studied tsunamis in geography class at school and recognized the warning signs. She told her dad, "There's gonna be a tsunami." Her father, sensing the urgency in her voice, told a security guard at the resort, "I know you might think this is crazy, but my daughter says there might be a tsunami." A Japanese tourist who spoke English overheard the conversation and said, "You know what? There was just a big earthquake in Sumatra. Maybe there will be." Because of her, people on the beach were warned, and 100 people at that resort all survived when the wave crashed in. In the end, it was the United States Pacific Tsunami Warning Center that eventually realized they had to take the initiative to warn people. They tried to think, what can we do with no warning systems and nobody to call? So they called our United States State Department and told them, hey, there was a gigantic earthquake under the Indian Ocean and there's going to be tsunami waves. They're already hitting areas of Thailand and Sumatra. Our State Department patched them through to U.S. embassies in Madagascar and Mauritius so that some warning could be given to the East African coast. I must admit, I was kind of stunned how few people knew what a tsunami was, or how they're generated by undersea earthquakes or landslides or volcanic eruptions. I suppose I was naive because I was a nerd. I was interested in meteorology and geology and volcanology and, I don't know, I guess I just naturally assumed that people knew what a tsunami was. This was the largest earthquake on the planet since the 1964 Anchorage, Alaska earthquake, and at least the third most powerful earthquake ever recorded in the world since modern seismology began around 1900.
The size of the earthquake shocked us. Probably the largest earthquake in 40 years since any of us have been working in this field and since the advent of modern seismographs. So we were all shocked, and we were witnessing the largest earthquake on modern record.
It was one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history and the worst tsunami disaster in history, killing an estimated 228,000 people across 15 countries. Released into movie theaters in Spain on October 11, 2012, and in the United States on January 4, 2013, The Impossible grossed a worldwide total of $198.1 million, making it a large box office success and one of the highest-grossing Spanish films of all time. Naomi Watts received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress for her role as Maria. I heard about this film and saw trailers or clips on the internet during the 2010s, but I did not get around to seeing it until the summer of 2024. I thought it was very well made, very gripping, very effective. It left quite an impression on me, especially since it was all based on a true story of the real events that happened December 26, 2004. I highly recommend the 2012 biographical drama film, The Impossible.